Hi everyone, this is Candace Markey. I am here with my daycare that I am proposing this semester. I'm gonna jump right into it with this week's add-ons, which isn't too much. I did consider making a commercial to put on like local news channels, but I really don't know in today's society how many people still watch like cable TV. From my interviews, most people are using streaming services, and the people that do still watch TV are our older generation, and they would not be my target market. They don't have little ones going to daycare. Well, most of them. Some grandparents I know watch their grandbabies, but for the most part, it's going to be the younger generation that's going to be my target market. The ones with the youngest, mainly under 4 years old children, in like elementary age, kids needing after school care. So I think I'm going to cross the commercial off of my marketing. I think it would end up being a waste of money, and I don't think that I would get too many customers from that. I did also think about offering, I know the biggest advertising, I guess, would be word of mouth, especially with daycares, and people want to know and want to hear experiences of how other people's kids have done at a specific daycare. Since I would be starting new, there's not going to be a lot of reviews at first, other than people that know me personally, know how I take care of my kids and how I take care of other people's kids just from like babysitting. So the word of mouth is going to be a huge deal at first. I think that I would offer either discounted registration or even a free registration if you send me customers. So for a referral, and that person has to actually register and start, then you would get either discounted or a free registration, or even like a free week of tuition for bringing me new customers. I do know that once I get those customers, since it is childcare, that I will hopefully have them long term. I don't have to worry about them or needing to get new customers constantly. I do know that they will eventually age out and start school. Hopefully I would get them for after school care at that point. Hopefully they would get family or friends or even younger siblings could join. But that is mainly going to be my market and my customers. I will have the registration fees. I did decide on $200 per week full-time tuition. I know one of my group members said that was kind of steep in price. I do also know that tuition around here is around $150 per week, and I was paying that for full-time childcare and still having to pack like breakfast and lunch for my kids. So that wasn't even providing any food for my child. That was just like straight childcare. So I know that is expensive, and that is why a lot of people are struggling right now. But also, wait lists for childcare are crazy around. I'm sure it's everywhere, but I know Mobile specifically, the wait lists are like, you pretty much, as soon as you find out you're pregnant, need to put your child on a wait list right now, because there are just no open slots. So for my target market, that's hopefully going to be healthcare workers and shift workers that need that afternoon, evening, weekend care. they're going to be able to pay the $200 per week. And also, I live by you get what you pay for. So that is providing phenomenal childcare services. I did also decide that the after school care would be $60 per week per child. I don't know yet how many children that I would be able to bring in at this point. That would obviously depend on how many teachers, because there is student to teacher ratios for the different age categories. I think it's like 1 to 4 for infants, 1 to 6 for toddlers. I'd have to double check on that, but depending on how many staff members I could get would depend on how many students I could bring in. Also, what schools I'd be able to pick up from all that would play a factor in how many kids that I actually bring in. But those would be my prices. $200 per week for full-time childcare. That's pretty much four or 5 and under. $60 per week for after school care. I did also look into the apps that I want. There were actually a few different ones that are available. Of course, each one has their different offerings, and they all seem to vary in price depending on what perks you want with each of them and what you want each of them to do. So that is something I couldn't really get too much detail about it without having to put in like a business name and like all your information. So, but for basics, I was able to find most of them would probably cost around $100 per month. And that is, you could check your child in and out. You could chat with your teacher through it. You can, the teacher can upload when they nap, the nap times, like dirty diapers, each time they got changed, fussiness, when they ate, when they played outside, like teachers could post pictures. So I definitely, no matter what, would factor in that $100 per month for that, because I know that it would ease a lot of parents' mind just being able to log in and check on their children that way. That is pretty much all that I have added this week. My goal for this next upcoming week is to hopefully have a PowerPoint, and so I can show y'all kind of the look I'm going for in my daycare and the offerings. I know that it is pricey, but also I kind of, which probably should not use this terminology, but a more bougie daycare versus some of the daycares that look run down. And I know I have sent my kids to daycare and it was more of like babysitters versus them actually learning. And it was very impersonal. And I definitely want the opposite. So if it's going to cost a little bit more, I know my target market, that is who I'm shooting for. It are those that are not going to be upset or against paying a little bit more for the bouginess of the apps and being able to check on their kids and being able to send their kids to an environment where they don't have to second guess or question if they're going to be safe or cared for. So I do everything in my power to make sure that the parents are comfortable, and I want them to be able to say, I send my child to this daycare, I love it, and I would definitely recommend that you send your child there. Even if it isn't for the free tuition or free registration, I want people to be able to recommend me no matter what. That is all I have for this week. I am going to continue on my PowerPoint, hopefully have all of that put together so I can show y'all next week what exactly I'm going for. Thank you.